Good morning. This is my school run chic this morning. I thought I was going to run, but I didn't have it in me this morning, so I did a good pace after dropping the kids off. I want to share something with you today from the Big Chair Energy that may just help you. And I know that having been a coach for 10 years, I have got a big bag of tricks. And sometimes I forget to use them. And sometimes they're not right for me. And sometimes I can't get enough of something and I use it each and every day. But I want to give you a tangible example, something that's happened over the last couple of days. So on Monday, I joined a membership. And this is somebody I've been following for a long time. And I knew that it was time. And I think I could do a whole video, a whole podcast on what that looks and feels like in terms of when you really ask yourself what you need or what you require, it gives you some juicy answers. I think so often, especially with sales pages being so compelling and the results that people get, you think, gosh, I'd like a bit of that. And then maybe it's not the right time, or maybe you don't quite have the capacity for it. Anyway, this so far seems to be what I want and need because it's a real 360 life and business. So I did the live call on Monday night. I stayed up till 8 o'clock. I know, so unheard of. And I was present. I was there. I put my diffuser on, I had my pen and paper, I was all ready to go, and I did the work. I focused and I did what was required. And then I did a goal setting workshop because when you become a member of this, you get access to lots of different trainings and workshops, and it's a real pick and mix, and that's how I like to work. I like to dip into things as and when I need them. And I've really tried to get back into dedicating the first hour, if possible. I only got 15 minutes this morning, but that's fine, of the day to me, to whatever I want to do. So whether that's to watch a TV program on Netflix, read my book, listen to an audio, journal, visualize, stretch, meditate, sit and stare at the wall with my cup of tea, open the back door and see what's going on in the garden. I really want that first bit of the day to be for me. And so I did this goal setting workshop yesterday, and I haven't finished it yet. But one of the things that one of the trainers in there asked me was about to come up with one goal. And this is a real struggle for me because I am multi-passionate, multi-hyphenate. I love having a portfolio career. I love having lots of different interests. And I really resisted it. I was like, one goal? No. And then I just thought, right, okay, I'm going to go for one goal and see what happens. Just see what happens. Trust the process. Trust the process. And again, that's a really tricky thing for me because I don't know, maybe it's a self-sabotage, maybe it's something that goes on where I'm like, I don't know, but would it even work for me? Like, I'm not sure, I'm a bit skeptical. And so here's what happened. I wrote this goal down, and she then invited you to come up with reasons as to why you wanted this. And it wasn't just like, I want to do this because. She gave you so many juicy questions so you could really delve in deep. So they were questions such as, why do you want this? Why now? How are you going to benefit from this? How are other people going to benefit from this? What is it going to do for the rest of your life? All of this sort of stuff. So I sat with this question and I just thought, right, okay, trust the process. So I wrote this goal down that I wanted to work on. And then I wrote about 15 different answers as to like why I wanted this thing, why now, and I did that work. Yesterday afternoon, so I did this workshop in the morning. Yesterday afternoon, I went on to Instagram and the same post was the first in my feed. And I stopped. And this post was a complete solution to the next step of me achieving that goal. And I couldn't quite believe it. I just looked at it and was like, what? Oh. And it was one of those that looked like a screenshot of a Word document. And I read this and I was like, oh, that sounds like what I need. Oh, well, that could work for me. Oh, well, maybe. And I looked at it. And then, of course, the resistance came up with all of these things. Like when you want to make change, there's that sense of like, yeah, but is it the right time? Or I don't know if I've got the money to invest, right? Whatever the thing is, all of them come up to play usually for me. Like, I don't really have the time. It's going to be an evening thing. Am I going to be able to do this? What if something else comes up? All of it. Old patterns. And I then sat with it and I thought about it. And I thought about how exciting it would feel to take that next action towards what it is that I want. Because I'd claimed it. I'd spent that time in the morning going, this is what I really want, and here's 15 reasons why, and all of this. And so I sat in that headspace of going, how would that feel to do that so quickly? To set the goal in the morning and then have the perfect opportunity twice to almost deliver to me, that's how it felt, in the afternoon. How would it feel to take action on that? So I thought about it for a little bit. And then I spoke to a couple of people and they said, sounds great. And then, of course, I had that resistance again. It's almost like a full circle when we want to do things. And the one thing that I realised was, and that's when it gets emotional, and that's when you know you're in that moment. I realised that then it wasn't about the money, the time, the whatever. It was about the courage. It was about the courage to say, this is important to me. And this is what I want. And I am going to be willing to do the work and to show up imperfectly and to have a go. And that is when I noticed where that block was, that vulnerability. Because it's so easy to say all of the things of, I don't have enough time, money, etc. But when you look at your personal reasons as to why you're not doing something, that's when you have to sit in that uncomfortable spot. And that's where I was last night. By the end of the evening, I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to send the email and you have to say why you want to do this thing. And I am good at writing golden paragraphs. And Matty would always say, you don't just write one, you write 8. And I really think that there are times in life where you have to speak from the heart. If something is important to you, I throw all of those logical, formal situations out. Like there have been times where I have been down to the last 2 for a job and I have said I would be delighted to do this role. I say it to clients all the time. If I have a discovery call with somebody and I know that I can help them and I feel like there's a really great match and I'm excited about what they are going to do and I think I can help them, I will say, I would love to work with you. I would love it because I know that excitement, that energy will really help somebody. And also for the other point of view, you want somebody to go, gosh, they would really like to do this. This really means something to them. And you can see that smile that's bringing to my face. Anyway, so, and when we moved into this house, we had to write, well, we didn't have to, but there was a place on the form, so I took full advantage of writing why we wanted to live here. And I channeled that. I was in that zone of like, this is why it's important. This is what I want to do. This area is particularly important to me. This street. There were so many different sort of crossovers. You know, Matt and I had lived together, you know, we'd been in the area for a long time, etc. And I believe that that was a fundamental part of why we got this house. And I love a golden paragraph. So anyway, back to this. I have to write this golden paragraph. I started it last night. It was imperfect. It wasn't quite what I wanted to say. And so I thought, right, I'm going to do it tomorrow morning. So I'm going to take the kids to school, nursery, wherever they need to go. I'm going to move because that helps my body and my brain get into gear. And then I'm going to write it. So I'm about to write it in a second. But here's another thing that came to me this morning. I said earlier that I love having that hour to myself in the morning to do whatever happens. My daughter woke up at 5:25 this morning, which is too early for her really, but she was awake and I gave her a cuddle and kind of got in with her and snugged her all in, and she went back to sleep for another sort of 20 minutes. And that was great. So I had this 15 minutes and I suddenly thought, how would I feel if I didn't make a move on this? How would I feel if I let this opportunity, which feels like it's landed in my lap, pass me by? And what if this uncomfortable moment of like, should I not? I feel scary, you know, who am I to do all of this stuff, becomes part of my story. And then this is where it gets weird. I picked up my phone and I pressed play on my voice note. And I imagined sometime in the future, I don't even know when it was because it wasn't a logical thing. And I started to talk like I would on a podcast or of this. And I started to talk and tell the story that when I was 40, I did this thing that really scared me. And I described the whole process. And I then almost went into a visualization of how great it felt to have done it. And how that move led to all of these other parts of my life and parts of my journey. And there was something bizarre that happened in that 15 minutes where I felt like I spoke the truth of it. I spoke what it really meant to me. And I think that it's a reminder for so many of us that we're in our heads all of the time. We're trying to make it logical, make it practical, make it squeeze into some time. And those things like time blocking and budgeting and all of those things are very important. But sometimes you have to be in tune with your heart. And sometimes there is no logical reason as to why you want the thing or why you want to do the thing. And so speaking that aloud, because I didn't have the energy, I didn't have the focus to like write the visualization out, but I just spoke it this morning. And now, having done that, I feel so much clearer. I feel like I know what to do next. And I'm going to write the email, even though I'm scared, even though I'm feeling all the feels. And I'm going to have a go. I'm going to see what happens. My question for you today, what are you going to do? How are you going to make your vision, what you want, come closer to you? What's your action? Another example that I can give you is where we used to live, there was a massive junction. So there were cars in all different directions. And in order to cross this big road, there was like a halfway point. So you cross, halfway, stop, and then all the way to the other side. And the amount of people I used to see from my window, standing on one side of the road, trying to shout to somebody at the other side. And the other person's like, what? I can't hear, what? What? Oh, yeah, okay, great. Da, 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 da. And I always used just to think, go halfway. Go halfway to meet them. Like, move closer. Get into momentum. Because what happens then is that other person might be like, oh, I'll come halfway as well. And we can have a bit of a chat. And that's what it's like with your goals. Sometimes it feels so far away and we're trying to shout at it. And the goal's just like, what? I can't hear you. I can't hear what? What you saying? Just take some moves today. Because I tell you what, once you do, that was an example from yesterday, it happens really quickly. Once you do, that goal will start to come closer to you. And you can meet in the middle, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. I've got a busy day ahead. I've got to run. I'm sending you so much love, support, strength, courage. Let's do this. If you want to find out more, go to my freebies house, nikkiraby.com/freebies. You can unlock some rooms in there. And equally, you can go straight to my work with me page, nikkiraby.com/work with me, or you can go to my shop, which is a list of everything I offer, nikkiraby.com/shop. That's it. I'm going to do it. All right. See you later. Bye.